This tournament. My stomach is getting a lot more hungrier. We have been here over 8 hours, or actually I think almost on hour number 9 right now. But it only gets better when you have these players playing, and we're tied up 1-1 going into Overgrowth LE. Starting down at the bottom left side of the map, we have Evil Genius's EGHuK. Starting over here at the top right side of the map, representing Acer, we have Scarlett. Oh, you guys are fun, man. Twitch chat going bananas. Alright, so hopefully this time around I don't have to give you guys too much attention in terms of sound quality. Hopefully it's going to be good enough to get you guys through this game. See, man, if somebody mentioned about something like, you know, the music or the game volumes or something like that earlier, I think I would have noticed. That's what happens, man. You don't eat for 9 hours plus. Like, you get a little bit delirious. Just sit here talking, looking at StarCraft. You forget about your life now. Scarlett's sending out a drone. This could be a drone scout, but she did this earlier. She did a proxy hatch as well versus Saravati, so we might see a proxy hatchery coming out of her right now. Gateway dropped. So we'll keep eyes and tabs on that. That last game, though, again, I feel like EGHuK might have missed out a little bit of an opportunity. Every time I looked at him, I would have made little minor differences in composition. The Colossus numbers eventually were good, but he didn't have enough ground support, didn't have enough sentries, didn't have enough stalkers. Especially stalkers, very important to have, especially with your +3. There it is. There's that proxy hatchery. He spent a little bit too much time doing the War Prism drops and harassment. Eventually Scarlett showed off her defenses and just kept holding it off, and minimal damage was done. Like, eventually, what, the infestation pit went down? Like, minimal structures. You put out a lot of it. You put a lot of resources into very little coming back for you in return. So EGHuK, though, this time around, he does notice a proxy hatchery. This was the problem with Saravati earlier today. He didn't notice a proxy hatchery, so this is very important that he spotted this early. He's going to be able to start the Zealot production a lot quicker. He's going to chrono boost them, of course, or should be chrono boosting. There we go. And again, your biggest hope is that you could force maybe a cancel, but even if it does finish, it's not going to have a lot of lifetime with this. So, back at home, of course, standard natural hatch follow-up along the way, pool getting thrown down, and we have the gas. So we'll see right now. Does Scarlett, in fact, decide to cancel? Does she decide to keep the proxy hatchery? There, again, the use of this hatchery is going to be, of course, blocking off this natural for as long as possible. The creep that spreads out, it's going to take time to actually dissipate. So I guess she's going to just let it finish off and let it work its way. And the only scary thing about this is EGHuK kind of doesn't need to worry. I mean, he of course needs to clear the hatchery, no doubt, but he could just work this way into a clear. He could work this in a way where he goes for a quick aggression, like, you know, it just goes gateway aggression off of this with more zealots, mothership core. So it'll force more defenses back at home potentially, but for now he's gonna have to, you know, think about taking up and doing as much as he can based just off of one base. Because, well, hatchery falls, there's still going to be a lot of time until the actual creep dissipates, so there goes the proxy hatchery. Speed underway. +1 upgrades, adding 2 gates as well. And see, this is what I'm talking about. I still feel like EGHuK is going to go for a pretty aggressive just gateway push right now. Scarlett, she's producing more lings, and she's getting another queen out right now within the main base. But I don't know if just 3 queens and some lings are going to be enough to stop this, because if EGHuK is going to actually work this off of 3 gate, it could be a little bit more damage than she anticipated, but EGHuK does need a little bit more support than just 3 zealots in the mothership core. Hopefully he's got an opportunity in front of him to actually put up a forward pylon of sorts. So finally all the creep does go down. Lings actually over here, looks like they were able to spot that, you know, the Nexus wasn't down just yet, but that means less lings back at home, 5 drones in production. EGHuK's putting up the forward pylon. Does Scarlett not know about this at all? I don't think she spotted this. She's actually going across the map with lings. I don't think she knows about this. The sentry's going to be able to force field off, and then another one just in case could be warped in. Let's see EGHuK's reaction. Does EGHuK react? Does EGHuK react? EGHuK has to know. He's got to have his attention back. There we go. Force field's off of it. He's got to produce at least one more sentry just to be able to force field off if he possibly can, though he is going to What is he going to do? What is he doing? What is he doing, Huck? You got to react somewhere. You got to do something. +1 is just about done. There we go. He starts heading into the natural. We might have a quick game on our hands, guys. And Lings do break inside the main base. Sorry, just a second, I had to take care of a person because all my mods are gone, apparently. Natural Hatch is going to fall. Forward pylon, though, is going to be under a little bit of duress, it looks like. Huck, though, could technically just go for the third hatchery that's building. He at least is going to get one more warp in of Mass Zealots. The Speedlings are still alive and doing some damage within the main base. Huck just needs to fight them and get them out of the game. There we go. Or that, or just warp in one Zealot or a Stalker back inside his home base. Now, due to the wall kind of getting breached over here, a couple of gates are on power along with the forge, but also you have to take a look and see just 2 hatcheries going down. This is a great position actually for Huck if he's able just to push the Lings finally out of his base, because now he's going to have 2 bases to work with. Scarlett has to retake her hatchery. So as long as the worker counts are kept fairly safe right now by Huck, if he doesn't lose too much, these Speedlings, he should be okay. And he could, of course, just activate Photon Overcharge. I'm really wondering why, at least at one of the bases, he doesn't activate Photon Overcharge. There we go. Finally he does. Pylon's going to be able to blockade them in. He puts a little bit of a wall off with the Zealots right now. He's trying to hopefully catch all of these Lings within this area. And you can take a look at Scarlett. She's trying to escape her way out, trying to break the pylon. She beats the pylon down, but loses all the forces over here. So now, once again, there's that tricky scenario of where are your defenses. I think this is actually game right now for Huck. I think he's got this. Scarlett put in all of her units across the map, and once again, during these building hatcheries, they're going to fall. There's no spine crawlers at the farther bases. There's one inside the base right now. Roach Warren is about to, well, not even about to, it's about 1/4 of the way done. So right now it's just Queens and the spine crawler if they're able to defend somehow. Like right now, if Huck just goes and double checks the third base, takes that out once again, keeps Scarlett to 1 base, that's the most important thing that could actually happen to him. But instead he's going to continue pressing on forward, and with the help of the Mothership Core, I think it's possible. Instead, he is just going to go for the third base like we talked about. He's going to go get the third base, so that's going to be good for him. And back at home, of course, Scarlett's going to try to attempt to run by on Huck's natural, but this time Huck is very over-prepared. He's got 3 sentries in position, ready to actually catch everything if he ever did need it. Does catch a couple Lings right there along the way, and really, if you're Scarlett, what do you do? What do you do? You have 7 Roaches underway, you have speed, Roach speed underway, but your opponent has a very healthy natural base. You're working off of 1 base strenuously right now. You're going to be basically moving from 1 base to 1 base in her position. You haven't really had the true opportunity to tech up. You're getting Infestation Pit right now, and once again, Huck, all he has to do is just warp on out of there. Cybercore, yep, I'm like it should be done already. So if he does need defenses back at home, he has a lot of time to start warping in some Stalkers. He's got also the Robo underway. See, these Roaches are just not going to be able to get anything done, unfortunately. Like, Scarlett, she could think about maybe pressing on forward, but what's going to happen is if they even do, she could just force field them in. She could warp in Stalkers, she could chase them down. So Scarlett's going to try to do the best that she possibly can in terms of elongating the game. We see with that Infestation Pit down, she's going to go into Swarm Hosts. Getting that Locust upgrade right away, Roach speed is just about done as well. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. In her position, I would be so concerned right now. I would be so concerned in her position. Top left side of the map, we do have a little bit of a hidden probe and also a couple forward pylons as well to work with. Mothership Core heading over once again just to double check and see if there is a third hatch in fact. I think that's smart because that does give away a little bit of more information. If your opponent's going for the third hatch, it shows that they want to try to continue to keep the game going rather than preparing or setting up an all-in. Another Zealot pack is heading across the map as well, though this time I don't think they're going to have as good of an opportunity to punish. Third hatch finally finished up. The Roaches with their speed should be able to out-micro the Zealots. That's just reality. Not the Kespa player reality, but actual reality. First Swarm Hosts are coming out. And wow, you know, as shocked as I am, I really thought that was a game already a long time ago for Huck. I really did. Potentially, I would have loved to see him continue pressing on earlier with that Zealot pack with the Mothership Core inside the main base and try to continue doing more damage, because Scarlett, she was already forced to produce more units in general, but so if you were able to get in there, maybe distract the Spinecrawler with a couple of the Zealots, chase the Queens around, and also have a Zealot within there microing away, starting to hack away at the worker count, I think it would have been worth it. I think it would have been worth it. You still had a lot of time at home to be able to produce what you need to, but EGHuK is going to be following this up. If you guys didn't notice in the production tab, 2 Mortals popped out within that time. He's got his sentries with a lot of energy, only 5, but still with a lot of energy heading across the map. Mothership Core attempting to catch up. Swarm Host, though, will and should honestly deflect this. I don't know, is there an observer with the army as well? Yes, there is. As we see, he's clearing creep out. Is he going to have enough time, though? Is he just going to have enough time to play against the Swarm Host? And see, he's already backing up. I don't blame him. I don't blame him, because right now what's going to happen is if he tries to fight against this, he's going to start trading. He's going to start trading, and unfortunately he's going to lose those Zealots under him. He's going to lose the energy that he's got on his Immortals, I mean, sorry, on his Sentries. The Immortals are going to also start like getting picked at. Even if he clears the Locust wave out and presses on forward, there's going to be Roaches prepared for him just to sit there and fight for a couple seconds just until another set of Locusts is out. And now Scarlett's in a position where you take a look and see the Locusts are going to be pressing, hopefully back this army. Well, you know, it is that tight third area. Drop 4 force fields completely walling off. He's going to force field off the back as well. And what EGHuK wants to do, I could tell, he wants to try to kill this hatchery out, but not having such luck. 1 Immortal goes down. Zealots are starting to fall, and oh, what looked so promising and so good. I think he just spent too much time trying to get the setup prepared. Should have just tossed the force fields around and began focus firing with the sentries and the Immortals at the hatchery. He might have had, I think he had actually a chance to get it. The Immortals are +2. The Immortals were +2. They would have been able, with the help of the sentries, they would have been able to focus fire that hatch. 4th hatch coming up for Scarlett, and you know, any advantage that either player really had has kind of gone away. The game is really stabilized, to my surprise. Meanwhile, inside the main base, War Prism coming to nothing. Gonna run on out of there. Colossus are starting to begin to come out. The second Robo as well was finished up, so now we got double Colossus production coming out. +3 is about done. And this time around, I really do want to see EGHuK get to that Colossus number that he really needs to be at. Get more ground support in terms of a few more sentries and a lot more stalkers. Blink is underway, and just press. Just press. Because what's going to happen is, if this game ends up going into what looked to be like last game, I can only imagine that it's going to be probably the same result. I can only imagine it's going to be the same result. Unless EGHuK can keep the hatchery count really low and down and keep the econ very low. Scarlett, she's already up to 175. She's getting very close to a point where she's going to start banking. And when she starts banking, she's going to be able to comfortably tech up into Hive. She's going to be able to comfortably, she's already, yeah, actually she hasn't gotten Hive. Yeah, she's going to be comfortably able to tech up into Hive. She's going to get the Vipers out. Then we're going to see probably the Spire, and of course, as you see the Spire, the same thing's going to happen again as it did last game. Now, over here, at the 4th hatchery, we of course have dead drones, dead hatchery. Everything is dead but this game, man. Everything on this side of the map is dead but this game itself, man. No dead game, just dead Zerg stuff. And we should probably see a recall. I don't know how long EGHuK wants to try to fight this out. Yeah, he decides to recall. Like, the only way I could imagine is if he tried to maybe work some way through the choke over here and maybe take out some of the frontal swarm hosts over here. But hey, that's exactly what I was talking about. You got to keep the hatchery count low. You got to prevent additional gas econ. You got to prevent additional resources from getting collected. Very important as well. Oh, I was about to mention the gold hatch as well. Very, very important that Scarlett hasn't actually got the gold hatch for EGHuK at least. EGHuK himself putting up the forward pylon, looking like he wants to grab his own gold base as well. 2 more Colossus in production. Templar archives underway. 6 stalkers getting warped in. Where are those 6 stalkers, by the way? They're in the back over there. And here we go. Now, if there is one more unit that could tank up just a little bit better than the stalkers, it is going to be the Archon. So the Templar archives is going to be crucial if he wants to actually have a straight-on, just heads-on push against the Swarm Host and the Locust. What the Archons are going to do, they're going to, with the Guardian Shield pops up, they're going to be able to eat a lot of damage on their shields. and hopefully the Colossus just have enough AoE where they actually break through everything. And you can see that they're doing a pretty good job. The Colossus numbers are very key at cleaning up these locusts pretty well. And he'll continue on through, and during this whole entire time, he's just been clearing out creep. This has been a really nice job by EGHuK. Playing a very patient game. This is the type of Protoss play that I really enjoy. He could have already overreacted a couple times, just in scenarios, but he's playing very patient, taking his shots very slowly, picking his positions. Now he'll take out that Spinecrawler wall. The rocks do break, but now before this hatchery is going to go down, another opportunity once again to recall. He's got to bring all of his units in once again, and he's going to fight the roaches and the hydras, and after the roaches and the hydras, he's going to end up recalling. But he needs to recall before he actually loses any more of these units. No, he's just going to back on off. Man! And the hydra goes down, not able to focus down the mothership core. Jesus. Alright, well, that was a lot more scarier than I thought it was going to be. A lot more scary than I thought it was going to be. Alright, so Warp Prism upgrade underway, 2 Warp Prisms as well getting produced, triple Stargate getting thrown down back at home, and this is, once again, the anticipation. 1, if he needs Tempest to be able to snipe down Swarm Host and snipe down the walls, or 2, if the muted transitions comes, he's going to be able to produce Phoenixes in time. So you got to give it up to EGHuK that he's preparing for all sorts of scenarios right now. This is how you know EGHuK is a very mature Protoss player. This is how you know he's a very mature StarCraft player, because he's really, putting everything in account. He's keeping track of everything. He's making sure that he's going to be good in all areas. He knows that this isn't exactly a game that's just going to end here in the next minute or so. Now, as I was about to say, as I give him so many props, he's gonna watch just lose a Colossus right here. I'm like, no, don't lose it. So EGHuK coming up again, gonna take out some of the creep. Of course, once he notices there isn't a hatchery here, he might want to pull back. But this isn't exactly the worst place, because if the locusts do get filtered in through here, he does have a chance where he could force field off and avoid them. So, of course, repositioning, as you can see, they're going to be flooding across, or filtering through both canals. Void Rays are in production, so my Tempest Phoenix suggestion is completely off. Well, at the same time, though, if the similar thing happens in terms of the mass corruptors start coming out again, and the 20, 19, 25 corruptors are out on the map, and your Tempest can't one-shot them down just like that, you will need some Void Ray support as well. So Vipers are finally in the game. 1 Colossus goes down, the second one almost goes down, forces a time warp out just to hold off the Locust for a little bit. And like I said, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That 30-second to 10-second time warp change doesn't do anything for the game at all. It doesn't do any damn thing for the game at all. Players will get out of the time warp one way or another, or whatever combo that the Protoss is trying to set up with the time warp is gonna happen before that 10 seconds is up. I really don't understand that damn time warp change. There's so many other things that the game could focus on if they wanted to tweak. That time warp change was not one of them. Oh no! Oh no! No! Ah! Scarlett! No! Oh my God! Scarlett! Oh God! Oh, I'm not sure if that was a misclick. I'm not sure if she... Oh, that's good. I think inside the main base she was distracted by the Warp Prism, the harassment that was going on. I was about to say, I'm like, there's no way that she just walked up all those Swarm Hosts and they just died off. And unfortunately, EGHuK's still just scared of the Swarm Hosts and the Vipers. Decides to back off. I don't blame him, man. Swarm Hosts still scare me once they're burrowed. Now, inside the main base, that harass was cleared up. On the left side, though, we do have another setup right here of Zealots to go probably up to that base, but you take a look, there is a pretty formidable Spinecrawler wall. With that amount of Zealots, though, and +3 attack, I don't know if the Spinecrawlers are going to be able to hold off. She might have to send over either the Locust, or she might have to send over some additional help between the Roaches and everything else. Now, the Locust, due to the fact that creep has been completely cleared out, don't have enough time for them to be able to move quickly across to reach this base, so EGHuK's going to move out as he begins his attack on the north-left side of the base. Clearing out 1 Spinecrawler, 2 Spinecrawler, another one goes down to 2. Looks like he'll still stick with 2, but the thing is right here at the front. So Blinkstalker sniped down a couple of the Vipers. The rest of the Vipers actually don't have enough energy currently at the moment to be able to take it down. Where's the Observer? Oh, if the Observer right now was with the Void Rays. all of these Swarm hosts might have fallen, but here comes the Hydra's gonna fly off. Man, this is such a fun back and forth game. Remember, this game started off with a proxy hatchery, Scarlett losing her natural, her third, for getting a natural and third canceled out. HuK, meanwhile, letting a Ling run by go through. Like, this is a game that looked chaotic and would have ended in the first few minutes. We're now at the 28-minute mark. I really don't believe it. But HuK pushing on through, catches the Swarm host in a very nicely choked up position, slowly rolling through right there. Scarlett dropping in supply. She doesn't have a lot of gas and resource econ either. She's producing 11 Hydras. She's got +3 underway, but man, this army right now, I think it might be a little bit too much. The Voidar is up top, or one of those units that can't get reached without some air support, so they're helping clear out the Locust very quickly. I think the Observer's still alive, starting to head on against the Swarm host. It looks like HuK might have this game. The dude is just playing out of his mind. What a game, man. And G is called from Scarlett. HuK moves on to the losers bracket grand final. One best of 3 from potentially facing a rematch versus Masa. He actually didn't play Masa earlier today, so he might have a chance to face Masa for the first time, but to do that, he's going to have to play versus Kane. So